There are two main ways you may be taught to slow down in a manual car. One is to change down one gear at a time as you brake, lifting the clutch up in between gear changes so that you have engine braking to the wheels as well as your foot brake braking the wheels. You will rarely be taught to use first gear for engine braking because first gear is too harsh and it's quite hard selecting first gear when you're at any speed. So when you get too slow for second, hold the clutch down, continue to brake, and when you want to get going again, select first gear, gas and clutch to continue. The other way is to slow down without changing down the gears. So I'm going to quickly get up to speed so I can show you that method. I'm going to skip from third to sixth now because there's no point going fourth, fifth and sixth as I'm already fast enough. And now I'm going to start braking, and when I get too slow for gear 6, which would be about 1000 RPM, which is around about here-ish, I hold the clutch down, don't bother to change down any gears, don't use the engine braking, just focus on the foot brake to slow myself down. And when I have finished slowing down, I'll select the appropriate gear for the speed. And I've slowed down to 4 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, so that's first gear. Get first gear from sixth, and then gas and bite point to carry on. Some drivers insist that it's important to change down one gear at a time as you slow down, and other drivers just don't bother. So what's the correct way to do it? What's the advantages and disadvantages of either method? The advantages of changing down the gears as you slow down is that there's slightly less wear on the brakes. You're always in a gear ready to go, and it encourages people to slow down earlier because there's more to do. The disadvantages though is that slightly more wear on your clutch and gears, and it's a lot harder for beginners. The advantages and disadvantages of slowing down without changing down the gears mirror that of slowing down with changing down the gears. So as I slow down now, the advantages are there's slightly less wear on the clutch and the gears, and also it's much easier for beginners. But the disadvantages, slightly more wear on the brakes, I'm not now in a gear ready to go, and it doesn't encourage people to slow down gently because it's quite easy just to press the brake quite hard and slow down quickly. So logic says that changing down the gears as you slow down is the better way to do things because it has 3 advantages and 2 disadvantages. But slowing down without changing down the gears has only 2 advantages and 3 disadvantages. But life isn't always that simple. The trouble is, not all advantages and disadvantages are equal. Let's take the wear factor in this comparison. Would you rather wear your brakes or wear your clutch, putting a bit more strain on your gearbox in the process? Well, I would certainly rather wear my brakes because they're a lot cheaper than the clutch, and especially cheaper than the gearbox. However, the jury is out on how much changing down your gears actually wears the clutch and puts strain on your gearbox. When you consider how much torque needs to go through your gearbox under acceleration, using it for a bit of engine braking doesn't really sound like it's putting it under much pressure at all. And the clutch only really wears when it's hot, and changing down the gears doesn't really generate much heat. How about always being in a gear ready to go? If I slow down towards this junction, if I change down the gears, I'm always in a gear ready to get going. But do I really need to get going if I'm approaching a giveaway line that's really closed like this and I can't see? I can't see a circumstance where I would need to get on the power suddenly. And let's compare that to another advantage of slowing down without changing down the gears. It's easier for beginners. Now, in my world of helping people learn to drive, making something easier is the primary goal, because if I make it easier, more people grasp it and succeed. You've got to start off doing something the easy way before you learn to do it the hard way. Okay, you may not have to start the easy way, but in my years of teaching people to drive, starting the easy way has led to more success than starting the hard way. So what's the correct way to do it? Should you change down the gears as you slow down, or should you just brake? And when you're too slow for the gear, push the clutch down and don't worry about the gears again until it's time to get going. Well, between driving instructors, there is a saying, brakes are for slowing, gears are for going. Not all driving instructors agree with that, Not all driving instructors agree with everything. We do have our own opinions on how to help people. But it's up to the individual. It's up to your own priorities, your own circumstance, what is important to you as to what method you use. I like to change down the gears. I also like to rev match. But I don't teach people to do that, not until at least the later stages of their learning if they are quite a keen driver, because I don't get as much success. For me, the priority is making it easy. However, when I'm driving, that little bit more control is important to me. However, although it's important for me because I enjoy changing gear, just part of the thing I like about driving a manual car, it's not important for safety. So you don't have to change down the gears as you approach a junction, as you approach some parked cars where you may have to stop. As long as you don't push the clutch down too early, you're not really coasting. Coasting isn't holding the clutch down because you're too slow for your gear and you're coming to a stop, or you're slowing down to a near stop. That's fine. Coasting is when your clutch is down and you're at speed and you're planning to continue at speed. For example, on a country road, you're approaching a bend and you push the clutch down to slow down for the bend. Especially if you didn't need to change down a gear. Now that's bad, you don't want to do that. There's a video in the top right hand corner of your screen about clutch first or brake first that will explain. What method you use for the test though is up to you. You need to be safe and legal to pass a driving test, which includes being in control. Try to avoid excessive coasting. So if you are slowing down, don't go on the clutch straight away. Wait until the revs are down to about 1,000. Then you can hold the clutch down for as long as you like if you're still slowing down, and then get the correct gear to get going again. Or you can change down the gears one at a time if you like. It's up to you. It's quite clear from the passenger seat if you're in control or not. If you're accelerating at about the right rate, slowing down at about the right rate and going around bends accurately without cutting corners, your examiner is going to feel confident. Whereas if you pull out of a junction, you rip up the road, struggling to control the steering because you're going a lot faster than you expected, then it's quite clear you're not in control of the car. So the decision is yours. Use which method you prefer. I don't rigidly stick to one method. If changing down the gears helps my pupil, I will get them to do that. It normally helps them if they're coming into junctions a bit quickly. That can help them prepare a bit earlier. If you think the video helps, please give it a thumbs up and check out Collingwood and Confused in the description if you want insurance. Collingwood allow you to insure yourself on somebody else's car so you can practice in their car if you're learning to drive without affecting their policy. At the moment, via the link, there's up to 35% off and a £20 Amazon gift card. Also, check out the link to confused.com, because with Confused, you fill out one quote form, get loads of quotes to compare who's cheapest, and you can change the car on that quote as many times as you like to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Check out Facebook and Instagram if you wish, they're both Conquer Driving, and subscribe to get my future videos. And until the next one, cheerio.